Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tenant Farmer and welcome back to June. Can you believe it or not? We are flying through the year and we're also flying through the progression on the farm, really. So we're going to have a bit of a drive through today, check in on everything and give you a bit of an update farm-wide, really, to show you where we are, the state of the union, really, if you would like. And there's lots to kind of catch up on, really. Starting over there, over the very far wall there, are our pigs, and they're doing very well indeed. They are thriving there. We've got 50 piglets there on top of the what are we looking at, just under 100 pigs, so they're coming along very nicely indeed. Really happy with that. This field that we reseeded as well, it's not looking too bad at all. Hopefully we're going to cut the hay off that at some point. The other grassland around here as well is coming along quite nicely, and these bales, these are the ones we're still ticking through, using these ones first because we have some more over there. And what I think we'll do, depending upon how much we get through here in the next, I don't know, month or so, because we are still supplementing the diet, especially for the milkers, is we'll start to stack a few more in here too. We might make a few headlands of silage bales actually when we get around to it. Our beef cattle though, these are the ones that really need a bit of supplementing as well with minerals and also a bit of silage day to day. They are looking rather good, putting on a bit of weight, bit of size, finishing up nicely, which is what you want to see. So I'm happy with that, really happy with that in fact. And yeah, we're going to actually go through that way eventually, so let's have a bit of a peek through here first. Otherwise on the farm, we're going to shut this gate. Now the 5470 is not back with us yet. It's only a few days away. I think they're just waiting for a couple more parts on the steering to come back in. And then that will all be done. Front linkage is all being tidied up again. But yeah, we're getting really used to having the double barn here now. It's working quite nicely indeed. And the cattle are getting settled in very well too. So they're really happy. And yeah, it's making it a lot easier to feed everything up here. So you'll see it's looking rather good. Cattle are happy, like I say, they're being fed up nicely. The 5S has gone back. We only had it for a few days, so that had to go back. But it was a fantastic tractor. Really impressive to see where everything's gone. Oh, we just finished this. And yeah, balers and everything else are looking good on standby, ready to proceed, really. I'm hoping that we can get a few more bays of round bales of hay into here. If we can get up to this bay here, that would be great. So a few more bales there wouldn't go amiss just to get us through. Silage bales I think we're good for. We do have a few more, quite a lot more stacked around the corner, and we've got a lot of ground to cut again for a second time. So we will make sure that we capitalize on that, and we'll make sure that we're able to get a sufficient amount in before we start to sell anything off, that's for sure. But right now, let's just jump on into our landy. We're going to go for a bit of a drive through the fields, and we're going to see what we can find, really. Now, let's just take ourselves back. So things have been growing nicely. We're still in need of a little bit more rain again. You'll see as we come into one of our fields. Now, this is the field where the contractor run with the dribble bar for slurry, and whilst there's a few bits of grass that we missed there, the slurry itself is actually disappearing quite nicely now, but we are starting to see the grass has got a little greener, but it's not growing much. So hopefully we'll see that really kick on over the next few weeks. I would like to give it another month and then get a cut off it there in early July if we can, which would maybe, depending on conditions and quality, allow us a little bit more time to get a third cut off there if we want to. But for right now, we'd just love to see a bit of progression. As we come down through our forest track here, we're going to hang a sharp left. Look at our winter drilled OSR. Look at this for a field. Very pleased with this indeed. It's coming through very nicely there. The conditions in this field are good. We had an agronomist out recently just to take some samples and have a bit of a crop walk, and they were very happy with this as well. In this corner here where we squared off, you'll see this is our wild bird feed plot, really, and our game crop, a mixture of all sorts in here, but sunflowers are the predominant crop in there. The weeds are creeping through here as well. I don't really care about this bit, to be honest. It's just going to get worked in again, and another similar crop put in the fall. So that's fine with me. We can leave that. But the oilseed rape is looking good. It's flowering out nicely now as well. Good thick crops. Didn't get too much in terms of pigeon strike or anything like that. So ultimately, very happy with it indeed. So we'll look to see this continue. Now this is one of the better fields, I would say. We're going to have to just try and sneak around this corner here. There you go. I need to get the chainsaw out down here at some point. I don't really want to damage my truck too much. And also when we come to combine this as well. Combine's right in the way there. Anyway, let's stop ourselves. Now we're going to go on a bit of a circle around here. Because there's a few different fields that I want to show you and update you on. There's a few red flags that were brought to my attention, which are almost a little bit late for us now. And it's not the end of the world, given what the plan is there. But ideally, there is more that we could do. However, as we go for a bit of a drive, we're going to go up to the fields at the top here, which were drilled with the winter barley. And we'll have a bit of a look into those first. We have spring oats in the far ground there, which are doing quite well. The grasslands here again is another field that we could just do with a few more drops of rain, in all honesty, there to get it going. And the stuff on the left here, well, that's not far off being baled. So you can see we've still got our square bales all stacked up there. I'm very, very pleased with the return that we got from this field, actually. Not too much put down on here in terms of input, so we're looking good there. We have a lot of muck in the cattle sheds that we need to bring up here at some stage soon to be able to spread onto here. But yeah, that is going to be a plan coming up very soon. First big plan though is the fact that in the middle of that field there's a sinkhole. We need to figure that out and see what we're going to do with that. So that's going to be a plan for another day indeed. But with that being said, spring oats there, they're not looking too bad. They are, however, I'm quite surprised they've grown this far as they have, because they are in need of some nitrogen in here. Phosphorus and phosphates are okay, could be better. But I'm amazed it's got to this height, in all honesty there. We're trying to start to grow all of our new crops from a more organic approach. So we didn't put any man-made fertilizers onto this ground at all, which when we do the soil test there is very evident, because some of it is really, really lacking. Now we do have muck here that we're going to spread onto here once it's harvested. To be honest, because of the time that we actually acquired this ground, there wasn't much else that we could do, but put a bit of a break crop in there, really. And we went with oats, so that should give us a good sort of starting point there. We'll probably get some barley in, or maybe a first wheat in there when we come to harvesting or drilling this in the fall there. But we'll see. There are a few plans in place with that, and afoot with that, with my nephew who's getting his own little business going. So if we can capitalize on that, then of course we will. But you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see on that side of things. But I'm not too concerned about that side of the field, at least. And this is all part of the growing pains I find when you come to look at organics and trying to make that transition across. And the same can very much be said for our two fields here. Now we're going to just stop and get out here for a bit. These are our two biggest fields. We've got barley in both of them, as you can see. Now on the far side of this field, down the end of those tram lines there, you're going to have a grass field as well. But across these two fields, you're looking at around about 40-ish acres all in, maybe a bit more. And there is a real deficiency in lime, and the pH level in here is way too low. Ideally, you wanted to get it up to about 6.5, 7. We're currently sitting around the 2, which is not good at all. So what we need to try and do, far too acidic. We need to try and bring that back up there, and we will be looking to do so with a bit of lime in the, again, can't really do it now, but will be once we've got this field cleared. So it's going to take a bit of a hit there. We're going to see some of there's a few diseases on here that we can't quite keep on top of there, and the quality of the grain is not where it should be from what we can see already, but it is starting to just turn a little bit yellow there, which is good. And it's had a good amount of rain when it needed to, so it's a good tall standing crop. As I've mentioned frequently, we often look into one of the primary reasons for growing our cereal crops is for the straw for our cattle. So which then, as an organic farmer, is then going to provide us with the muck that we can put back on into this at a later time. So if we have that now, you know, that sets us up. That could do us a good job. Unfortunately, this field and the field down the way are in a similar boat. This field is by far the worst. I think the field over the hedge there is around about the pH level around about 3.5 or 4. So it's about 1.6, 1.7% better. Or 1.6 or 1.7 points better, but it's still not ideal. So we do need to look into that when we can. But it's an interesting issue and an interesting challenge that we're going to have to fight along the way. But yeah. That is the biggest issue, and again, these are all learning curves that we take as we're trying to figure out what it looks like for us to be in, you know, an organic farm, or transitioning into an organic farm there. So it's a learning process that we're taking along the way there for sure. But otherwise, very happy indeed with how these are coming through. Really, you know, we drilled these in good timing. We got them cleared in good timing there, so I think it should come through. As long as we don't get hit too badly for that lime deficiency in there, we should be okay. But we'll have to see how it goes. From the grassland perspective there, we just need rain. In all honesty, we just need as much rain as the heavens will give us, and even then I'm not sure at the moment that'll be enough. The one problem we'll have soon, because of the weight of the crop there and the height of the crop, if we get too much rain soon, it's going to bend the crop over, and then we're in for a different type of pain. So it's going to be a challenge to see how this all falls, and see, well, just see how it all comes together. But we'll have to see. We'll have to cross that bridge. Now, the next thing on my list to do really is a giant hot sinkhole that we have in the hayfield. Obviously, you're aware of how and when that happened, if you've been keeping tabs on things recently. So we need to figure out what that's going to look like to get that repaired. Now, we do have an awful lot of gravel in the pasture next to the yard, which I think we're going to just stick into that, and hopefully that will be enough. And if there's a body of water run through it, then gravel will be perfect for it, really. Just going to have to figure out if I can get a load or something, or a contractor that comes lift that. Because if it's just me doing it, and I'm only down to one tractor to do it at the moment, it's going to take me an awful long time. So we'll have to see. And we'll have to see indeed. But otherwise, yeah, this is all coming through very, very well indeed. We've also got the gardens are doing well. A lot of produce being made there, which I'm really pleased to see. Just took another load away this morning there, and it is really supplementing the income and allowing us those opportunities to, to diversify in other areas by just bringing in that bit of consistent income there, which is huge, really, as any farmer will tell you. Just feel like a constant update to the bank balance, and not in a negative way. So I'm really happy with that as well. Hoping to get some pigs out of here, but in the early fall. That'll be a great time if we can get some away then. With the beef cattle there, we're going to try and do something a bit different there and look into our own like beef packs, beef boxes as well. But yeah, otherwise it's coming together. You can see the pigs looking, there's some really big girls in there looking fantastic. They really are. Looking forward to see how that all comes through. But otherwise, I'm happy with how the farm's coming together. It is early June right now, as I say, so a bit of rain just to help the hay ground on the way with. I don't think we'll be cutting any more hay down until about July at the earliest there, so we've got a good 4-week period. So right now I'm just kind of pottering on with a few things there, doing a bit of servicing up with machinery where we can, to be honest there, getting on top of all of that, because we all know that can be a bit of a timely thing to do. And well, before you know it, the combine's gonna have to come out, and then we'll be all systems go again. So yeah, that is good. Certainly not looking to buy anything new, any new equipment anytime soon, because God knows I've got enough of that. And everything we've got is working well for us at the moment there. So no desires as far as that is concerned. And yeah, back around to the silage fields here, which are probably going to be the first fields to go. Actually, which would make sense because this was the first field that we cut in the spring there. So that one looks very much ready to go. And then the sheep pasture here, or what was the sheep pasture, would be the next one up. And we'll have to see. But that one is not quite there. Not far off, mind, but it's not quite there. And over we go. So yeah, that will be the next up there too. And I think it's coming together. It's looking very good. Nice. It's thick. It's not very tall at the moment, but it is a thick crop on the deck here. So you never know. Hopefully we'll see a bit more growth there coming up soon, and we'll be able to jump forward with it. The cattle shed doesn't look too bad. The new one from here, it's settled in quite nicely, and that wood will weather over time and lose some of its sharpness, and it'll start to blend right on in. But the extra capacity that's going to give us there is huge. We're looking for quotes and things around what we're going to do with the to get the road up from the dairy herd up to the beef herd, and figure that out there. Just figure out the best way to put that in, because I might also look at putting a midden in for a bit more box muck there as well. How have I done that? Wonderful. But yeah, that'll be the next up on the list as well. So really, it's all go, but it's all a little bit quiet at the moment as we're in a bit of a holding pattern, I would suggest it's very fair to say. Oh, hello doggo. And yeah, we'll be good. The stone here on the right, that's the stone we're going to try and get into that sinkhole. Hopefully fill that all up and get that way. I've got no use for it. I put a bit in gateways here and there, but nothing huge at all. So otherwise we're all looking good. And like I say, the next big thing really is to get some muck out. I might get a contractor in to come and do that. I don't have a muck spreader of my own anyway, and for speed, might just be something that we look to get a contractor in just to give us a helping hand there as well. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what that looks like as and when the time comes. But for right now, well, we're looking pretty much set. So I hope you have enjoyed. This has been a little bit of a state of the union update from me, David, the Tenant Farmer. We've got a few things to crack on with around the farm here, so we'll get going, enjoying this beautiful sunshine, and we'll leave you here. Until next time, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, and we'll catch you later.